Hey everybody, I'm Jack Solo, and I'm going to show you how to build a gas motor in Stormworks. So first I'm going to go into multiplayer again, because I like for my friends to be able to join me. And since I already have one started, I'm going to come down here to load game. Last time I saved my game as my save, so I'm going to open that. And it's going to start right where we left off when I made a simple boat in Stormworks. Alright, so this is where we were last time, over at this workbench. And stuff spawns in there. But we're not going to use this workbench this time. We're going to use that one in the hangar. This one right here. Everything we make at this bench is going to spawn in this square area here. Okay. I press E to enter the workbench, and it's going to start off like this again. And there's the components I picked up last time. The first thing we're going to look at is an engine. We're going to put it down here, and we're going to place it so that we can take a look at it. Now the engine is going to show us how to build the engine, because each one of these ports has a label on it. That one says air, small engine air. This one says exhaust. This one says fuel. This one says coolant in. This one says coolant out. And this port up here on top is the RPS. This is where the power is going to come out to turn your propellers. So we're going to need some pipes. Pipe. This shows you all the different types of pipes. These are enclosed. These are just regular pipes. I'm going to use these so you can see where the pipes are going. I'm going to need a straight one. Going to need a corner. We might also need a T. I think that's all the pipes we're going to use today. Now you just place pipes onto those ports to take them to where you want them to go. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a coolant. I'm going to put some pipes here, and they're going to go to a cooling system. If you're building a boat, you can use a fluid port. This guy right here, fluid port. I'll bring him down here so we can use it. You're going to also need an exhaust port. EXH. There it is. Now, if you were building a boat, you could just go down to the bottom. I'm going to press L, which is going to make the pipe point down. Put another one there. Since the boat is in the water, you can just put pipes down to the bottom of the boat and put a fluid port here and a fluid port here. That will suck up seawater and put water back into the sea. And that is your cooling system. But we're not making a boat. Our engine is going to be on dry land, so I'm going to show you how to use a radiator. So I'm going to erase, 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 erase. And I'm going to look for a radiator. We're not going to deal with these electric ones right now. We're just going to use a fluid heat radiator. Put it right there. I'm going to put a little bit of distance here so you can see where everything goes. It doesn't want to line up with the things, so what I'm going to have to do is put some blocks, because I want to get the stupid thing to line up with the pipes. So I'm going to put a block right there. Actually, I got to put one more here. Now I can place the radiator. I'm going to press J to flip it around and go up one more, and I think that is lined up with the pipes. There we go. Look at that. Now we've got a radiator fluid in and fluid out going to the radiator and to the engine there, and that will cool the engine. Now we need fuel. So we're going to look for a fuel tank. Oops. Tank. I'm going to use the small one. I'm going to build the block out a little bit so I have some place to put it. right there. And I'm just going to put some tubes. I just press J to make it turn that way. So now the tube goes from there to here. The fuel is hooked to the engine. Over here, we need exhaust. I'll press L to make it turn that way. And I want it to be above our heads a little bit so smoke's not blowing right into our face. So on the end of that, we put an exhaust. The exhaust has to go on there. And right here, the air, I'm just going to put a fluid port right on there. And that's our air intake. And so now, our engine is basically hooked up. The only other thing we need is it needs to turn something. So I'm going to put a elbow here, pipe. I'm going to hit K to turn it back that way. And then I'm going to put a couple more pipes. And we're going to put something here that's going to move. A propeller. We'll put the little one so that we can see that it's actually doing something. There. And that is how you make your drive shaft. And so now we got to work an engine, but we got to put some controls so we can control it. And we're going to do that over here just to show you. I'm going to build a little control station. Now, a couple things we're going to need. We're going to need a throttle. I'll place it here. We're going to need a starter, which is going to be a push button starter. Let's go ahead and put those. Put the throttle here. I'm going to hit J to turn it upright. I'm going to put the push button here for the starter. And we're going to come up here to select. And I'm going to click on this and I'm going to put throttle. I'm going to lower the sensitivity down to 50%. The minimum value is 0. Start value 0. Max value 1. That's perfect for a throttle. I'm going to label this button starter. Now, we're going to need to know what the heck the engine's doing. So we're going to need some dials. I'm going to place those here. I'm going to hit L to turn it this way. J to turn the needle straight up. I'm going to put, I don't know, 3, 4. We could always use more. Alright, now I've got some controls and I got some dials. I'm going to go to logic. Oh yeah, electricity. We're going to need a battery to start this thing. I'll use the small battery. We'll put that guy right here. Okay, so let's go up here to logic again, back to electricity, and we'll just hook everything together, and then everything goes to the battery. The engine also goes to the battery because it's the engine starter. That's everything electrical is all going to the battery now. Okay, let's go back to data. Now, the green dot on the throttle is going to go over here. The dot goes to the donut that says throttle. The starter has a red dot that goes over here to the red donut that says starter. Pretty simple so far. And the dials are going to need telemetry. What do we got here? We got temperature. The engine temperature. We've got RPS, which is revolutions per second. It's like a tachometer. How fast is it turning? We'll put that here. Wheel. Fuel. We're going to need to know that. And we're going to need to know how much battery is left. So here. Temp. Oop. RPS. Fuel. And battery. Okay, and let's change the setting to temperature. It's going to start at 0, and it's going to go up to, let's say, 100 is boiling, which would be bad. Let's make it go up to 120, 150 centigrade. RPS, I think 100 would probably be bad. Fuel. That tank holds maybe 250 liters or gallons or something. Let's put 300. We'll put this at 0. And then the battery. This is perfect for battery because it's going to be a percentage. We'll put the bottom at 0. And it goes up to 1. So we got everything wired up. Now I want to do one thing before we spawn this. I'm going to take the whole thing and move it down to the ground. I also want to move it closer to the workbench so I don't have to walk so far to get to it. Alright, so there it is. Now I'm going to spawn it. Wait, first let me save it as experimental engine. Save it. Spawn. There it is. I don't want it to be nighttime. Okay, good. We can see what's happening now. Gonna hit E to bring the throttle up to about 0.13 and then hit the starter. That's turning. 6 RPS. Temperature's going up to 20, 21. Fuel's at 24 liters. Battery's at 0.98. RPS is at 11. It's working. This thing is running. Now, hang on a second. There's no smoke coming out. There, now we got some smoke. And RPS is at 20. The temp's up at 67. I wonder how high is a safe temperature. So the temperature's actually stabilized on this thing. So this kind of engine might make a good generator. Or you could put it in a boat. And we have run out of fuel. So that is how you build an engine. There's a couple of other things like we might want to add to it. And I'll show you that if you want to continue. The battery starts the engine, and then any electrical components that you're going to run are going to be draining the battery. So we're going to want to add one more thing to this engine, and that is a alternator, a generator. Remember I had the T. I'm going to add a T in here. Do. Okay. Alright, and we need a generator. We're going to use the little one. That's going to go here. And we're going to go there. And just electricity, we'll just hook it into the battery to everything. The motor's going to turn the generator, which is going to recharge the battery as it's going. And any other electrical component we use is going to run off of that and not suck the life out of the battery. We can put one more dial for the generator. We'll put that one there. We'll add it. And then we will label it generator. There we go. Gotta save it and then spawn it. Now it's got a generator on it. So it's actually doing something now instead of just turning a propeller. Bring it up to about there, hit the starter, it'll start, and that's turning. Bring this up, about 28%, it'll be going at 20 RPS, which is as fast as we needed to go, really. And the generator's running at 2.56, so it's putting about 2.56 amps. And you notice the battery now is not at 98, it's at full capacity. It's already charged back up after that start. So we can kill the engine. Run it back up, start it again, and watch. That's still at 1. Never went down to 98% like it did before because now we got a generator. And you want to be very careful of the propellers not to run into them because they will kill you. Now, we could get this thing to run cooler by using an electric radiator. I'll show you how to do that. First thing we're going to do is remove this radiator. Then we're going to go Radiator. We're going to use this 3x3 electric fluid heat radiator. And since it's 3x3, it's the same dimensions as the one we were using before, so it should hook right up. Yeah, we just put it there. Now we're gonna have one more thing that we need to hook up to electricity, but we're also going to need something to turn it on with. And the simplest way to do that is to just use a toggle. This you can use for lights and things like that. We're gonna put the toggle right here. I'm gonna label it fan. Oh, and default state is off. We can switch that to on, so it's on when we first begin, so we don't forget. So then we want to come over to logic, hook that to electricity, hook the data to the radiator, so that when we spawn it, it starts, or when we press the button, it actually does something. And we could, yeah, we can actually have another dial for the radiator temperature. So that's the radiator temperature. So we got radiator temperature and engine temperature. Oh, let me switch this to 150 also, so it's the same as the other. Alright, spawn it. Look at this, the fan's already turning. If I turn this, the fan will stop. Hit that, turn this, 26. Start it. Here we go. And throttle up. Got smoke coming out. And the temperature coming up. The radiator temperature is coming up. RPS is as high as I got it set to go. Fuel is at 22. The battery is good. Generator's running. Fan is fanning. Propeller is propelling. Generator is generating. Fuel is being consumed. Battery's being charged. Everything's working. And so you can integrate all this stuff into your boat. You can use whatever you want, whatever you think you need, and put that propeller where you want it. Have fun organizing all these things. You can flip the engine over, put it any which way you want. Use ocean water or a radiator. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time.